Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today on Collection Lessons, I want to talk about Life Path. This is part of my Collection Lesson series. Anything I say on this channel is not anything advice, and let's get going. So what I want to talk about Life Path is, I want to talk about decision points, and previous decision points don't point you in a permanent direction, if I were to say that. So I'll draw some sort of graph, and then I'll show you a picture afterwards, just to kind of show and open your mind to the power of it. So to get started, basically on a life path, similar to like a life progress bar in like previous videos, you're born. This is where you're born. And from this point, you have different paths of life. Similar to like a video game, at least the latest ones, that you can choose, how your bringing up came to be, or that type of thing, where you can choose different paths, like in recent video games and role-playing games, the good ones. You can choose, I was born with background of a farmer, or, I was born in a city, farm, or city life, right? And then you have some sort of background that your character then takes on in a video game. It has those traits and everything, right? And you continue on those storylines. And usually in video games, you somehow wrap around back into like a main storyline with different attributes or whatever. But this just kind of explains and shows a little bit of an example of when you're born. You're born either into, a family that is together, everything's happy, or is, a family that's broken apart, or a family that doesn't have one spouse or, one parent or the other. Or, you're born out in the country, you're born in the city, it could be anywhere, right? And usually your life path at the start of your life, similar to like the progress bar in the other video, is somewhat determined until you're about 18 to 21. And that's because, your parents, depending on their decisions and where they live and everything, your association is somewhat determined by them. Which elementary school you go to, what you're interested in, because usually it's whatever they're interested in, that type of thing. And then at this age is usually when you get some sort of power and you can, move out. You can go places by yourself. You don't have to take your parents and that type of thing, right? And at this age, it doesn't have to be an age. It could be any decision point, but this is like just an age-based example. All of these strings, are what they are. Continue on, or do this, or do that. But really, if you're 18, or if you're at this decision point today, right, these strings over here don't exist yet. You're only on whatever string led you up there. To show an example of that, let's just say you started in the city life, and this is your string, and now you're 18, and this is today, right? This is today. It could be 18, 21, 32, 50, whatever it is. Everything from that point doesn't exist yet, so these strings don't exist. If I were to delete them, that doesn't exist. This is today. From this point on, you have any choice you want. Did I click brush? I did not. To change it, right? You're going this path like this, and you don't have to do that. Today you can change it. Today you're going to be like, well, I'm going to start looking for a new career. I wanted to be a doctor before. Always wanted to be a doctor for 18 years. But then something happened, right? You met someone, or you found that, it's another 10 years of schooling or something like that. And the doctor route is continuing straight ahead. That's straight ahead. It hasn't happened yet. People get stuck, and I've, had this happen, and it happens. It's just a weird human psychology type thing where people will continue on the path that they're already taking, even if it's wrong. And I'll call it wrong as in not the choice that they want. And people will go down a tube of misery, if you want to call it like that. And most people won't change that direction. You could change it to here. You could go and you'd be all just city boy, city girl all your life, and all of a sudden it's like, well, actually I want to go live in the country. For me personally, I want to live on an acreage sometime. I want to own some land. I want to have fun on that land. Maybe some destruction derbies with some $500 cars. That'd be cool. Maybe I'll record it and put it on YouTube sometime. But it's what I'm saying is you could change the direction. You don't have to go down the spiral, of whatever you don't like. You can change it today, right? Anything after today isn't written. So you can change it. And then from here you can change it. And then let's say you have another decision point. Let's say you have some kids and you're like, well, you know, the kids would really benefit from moving to the city. You can change it. You can go back to the city, go back to Cityland, or whatever this ends up looking like. These are all your paths, right? And whenever you look in the past, you'll find the paths, you know, as they turn, you know, black just means that they're in the past, they can't change anymore. And you're at another decision point in your life. And you're like, well, I want to go to the city, so I want to go from here to here, but you don't have to, right? All these decision points, you'll see all the other ones, you know, that could have went like this. Kind of looks like this. And the picture that I'm going to show next kind of shows it a little bit as well better. But I just want to give you that concept going into the picture. So this is the picture that I'm talking about. If you just look at this and you're like, whoa, like what's going on here? So let's just look at it, right? You're born here. This is your path. This is the one that was chosen, that you chose, whatever. And then this is today. This could be any age, any point of your life. This is where you ended up right now. Where you end up from here depends on your choices now. All these choices, all these end results of what your life looks like, from, you know, living in the city to the country, to how many kids you have, to which spouse you have, to all that is still yet to be determined. So you don't have to be stuck in this, you know, spirally state of, well, you know, I'm 30 and I'm already doing IT, so I'm just going to do IT from now on. It's like, no, you could change that. You could, you know, you might take some steps back, but you might actually just sidestep and, you know, change your source of income or change your thought process. You know, maybe you don't need to have all those subscriptions and all those financing and all that type of stuff. Maybe you don't need to own a house because you own some sort of asset that generates money that basically pays for your house, and your house is just free, your rent is free. And it's not about owning the thing, right? It's just, there's a decision point. And it happens to people all the time. It could be today. It could be today that you pick up a book. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if you're going the wrong direction on the world, and then it's like, well, you know, like if, you know, if I'm going east, let's say, if you know directions on the earth, if I'm going east, but I meant to go west, it's like, all you gotta do is turn around and just go west. But it's like, well, no, you know, the earth is round, and then it's like, well, I'm just gonna go around the world for like 50 hours to get back because I don't want to be wrong. It's like, well, you know, you don't have to do that. You can change things around. So that's what I wanted to share with this video, this picture, this life path. I like it mostly because it feels like a video game, and I relate to video games because I like playing them, and I get lost in their fantasy worlds, and, you know, those types of things, especially with the music that I'm going on right now. You have so many decision points, so many things that you haven't seen or that you could see. You could change your perspective, you could change the direction that you're going. And I just think that's really cool, and just looking at this just feels really powerful. So wanted to share that with this video, life path. Thanks, and talk soon.